He's a villain who has stolen the power of gods, a scientist whose intellect rivals the smartest heroes, and a sorcerer who could challenge the Sorcerer Supreme. He is Dr. Doom, and honestly, calling him just a villain feels like a massive understatement. Today, we're diving deep into the story of Victor Von Doom, the man who conquered science, magic, and even the multiverse itself. Forget what you've seen in the movies. The real Dr. Doom is one of the most complex, compelling, and downright terrifying characters in all of comics. So who is this guy in the Iron Mask? Victor Von Doom's story begins not in a high-tech lab, but in a Romany camp in the fictional nation of Latveria. His mother, Cynthia, was a powerful sorceress who made a deal with the demon Mephisto and paid the ultimate price. His father, a gifted healer, failed to save the king's wife and was forced to flee with a young Victor, dying in the harsh winter cold. Orphaned and filled with a burning desire for vengeance and redemption, Victor discovered his mother's magical artifacts. He quickly realized he had a natural talent for both sorcery and science, a rare combination that would define his entire life. This incredible intellect didn't go unnoticed. He earned a scholarship to Empire State University in America, where he met his future arch-nemesis, Reed Richards, the man who would become Mr. Fantastic. From the very beginning, their relationship was defined by a fierce intellectual rivalry. Victor was brilliant, but also arrogant and dangerously impassioned. He began working on a machine to communicate with the dead, hoping to reach his mother's spirit trapped in hell. Reed tried to warn him, pointing out a flaw in his calculations. But Victor's pride wouldn't let him listen. He believed Reed was trying to sabotage him. Of course, Reed was right. The machine malfunctioned, exploding in Victor's face. He was left with a few minor scars, but in his mind his perfect face was ruined forever. Expelled from the university and consumed by vanity and rage, he blamed Reed Richards for his failure. This single event set him on a path of darkness. He traveled the world seeking knowledge and power. His journey led him to a hidden monastery in Tibet, where monks trained him in ancient arts and forged him a suit of mystical armor. In a final act of supreme arrogance and impatience, he demanded they place the still glowing hot faceplate onto his face, permanently searing the mask to his skin. It was at this moment that Victor Von Doom died and Dr. Doom was born. Returning to his homeland of Latveria, Doom used his technological genius and sheer force of will to overthrow the corrupt monarchy. He established himself as the absolute ruler, turning the impoverished nation into a technological paradise. And here's where things get complicated. Under Doom's rule, there is no poverty, no crime, and no unemployment in Latveria. His people are provided for, protected, and they genuinely seem to adore him. He sees himself not as a tyrant, but as a benevolent, enlightened monarch. In his mind, his methods are justified because they bring order and prosperity. He believes that only he, with his superior intellect and unwavering vision, can save humanity from itself. This is the core of his character. He truly, genuinely believes he is the hero of his own story. But that heroism comes at the cost of freedom. He rules with an iron fist, using an army of Doombot's robotic duplicates of himself to enforce his will. His ultimate goal is world domination, not for personal gain, but because he believes it is the only way to achieve true peace and utopia. This is why he constantly clashes with the Fantastic Four. He doesn't just hate Reed Richards for that old college incident. He sees Reed as a symbol of flawed, chaotic potential. Reed uses his genius for exploration and discovery, while Doom believes that same genius should be used to control and perfect the world. Let's talk about his insane power levels. On the science front, he's a polymath. He's an expert in robotics, cybernetics, genetics, weapons technology, and time travel. His suit of armor alone is a work of genius, rivaling anything Tony Stark could build. It grants him superhuman strength, durability, force fields, energy blasts, and a life support system that makes him nearly self-sufficient. He even invented a time machine. The guy built a time machine out of spare parts while trapped in the past. That's the kind of casual brilliance we're dealing with. But then you add the magic. After his mother's tragic fate, Doom dedicated himself to mastering the mystic arts. He studied under powerful sorcerers, traveled to other dimensions, and read from ancient grimoires. His magical abilities grew to the point where he became a candidate for Sorcerer Supreme, the title held by Doctor Strange. Imagine that, a man who is both one of the world's greatest scientists and one of its most powerful magicians. It's this unique duality that makes him such a formidable opponent. He can fight Iron Man with tech and Doctor Strange with spells, sometimes in the same afternoon. His ambition knows no bounds. Dr. Doom isn't content with just conquering Earth. He's gone after cosmic entities that make Thanos look like a schoolyard bully. He has stolen the power of the Silver Surfer, challenged the world devourer Galactus, and even confronted the Beyonder, a being with nigh omnipotent power. This brings us to arguably his greatest feat, the 2015 Secret Wars storyline. In this massive multiverse-shattering event, cosmic beings known as the Beyonders were systematically destroying every reality. While the heroes of Earth were scrambling to find a solution, Doom took matters into his own hands. He, along with Doctor Strange and the Molecule Man, confronted the Beyonders directly, and while the heroes failed, Doom succeeded. He managed to steal the Beyonders' immense power, effectively becoming a god. With this newfound omnipotence, he didn't just destroy what was left of the multiverse, he saved it. He salvaged the remaining fragments of countless dead universes and stitched them together into a single cohesive planet, Battleworld. And who was the God Emperor of this new world? God Emperor Doom. He ruled over Battleworld with absolute authority, with Doctor Strange as his sheriff and a resurrected Fantastic Four as his family, with Sue Storm as his queen and Franklin and Valeria as his children. He literally rewrote reality to fit his own perfect vision. He had finally achieved everything he ever wanted: order, control, and the family he felt Reed Richards had stolen from him. Of course, it couldn't last. The surviving heroes, led by none other than Reed Richards, eventually challenged his rule. The final confrontation wasn't a big, flashy fight with energy beams and magic spells. It was a battle of philosophies. Reed finally gets Doom to admit the one thing he could never accept: that Reed, despite his own flaws, could have done a better job. In that moment of doubt, Doom's power faltered, and Reed was able to use the Molecule Man to rewrite reality back to the way it was supposed to be, restoring the multiverse. As a final act of, well, what you might call grace, Reed Richards used his reality-warping power to heal Doom's face. When the mask finally came off, Victor Von Doom was no longer scarred. For a time, he even tried to be a hero, taking on the mantle of the infamous Iron Man to honor the fallen Tony Stark. It was a fascinating chapter, showing that beneath the armor and the ego, there was a man capable of change. But of course, the status quo is king in comics, and eventually, the allure of his old power and his belief in his own superiority drew him back to his role as Dr. Doom. So what makes him so enduring? It's his complexity. He's not just evil for the sake of being evil. He operates on a code of honor. Doom's word is his bond. He is arrogant, narcissistic, and tyrannical, but he's also brilliant, driven, and capable of acts that could be seen as noble, at least from his twisted perspective. He is the ultimate control freak in a universe defined by chaos. He's a tragic figure, a Shakespearean king who believes his tyranny is a gift to the world. He forces us to ask uncomfortable questions. What is the price of a perfect world? Is benevolent dictatorship truly evil if it brings peace and prosperity? Dr. Doom isn't just a villain. He's a force of nature, a monument to unchecked ambition and intellect. He has conquered science. He has mastered magic. He has held the multiverse in the palm of his hand. And his story is a chilling reminder that the road to hell is often paved with the best of intentions. That's why, after all these years, Doom remains one of the greatest characters ever written. Thanks for watching, everyone. Who's your favorite comic book villain and why? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more character breakdowns. Until next time.